So today I'm going to be sharing my 5 top tips for songwriters. If you're just starting out or if you're looking to improve your songwriting, these tips will help you out, they'll make you think, and they'll get you inspired to start creating your next song. From finding inspiration to practical tips, I'll cover it all, so let's get started. Alright, so my first tip is simple but crucial, and it's listen to music. Really listen to music. I don't just mean having music on a lot in the background. Actively spending time paying attention to every detail. Listen closely and start noticing things like the song structure, the lyrics, the melody, the harmonies, how the instruments work together, and then look at even more details like when do they build, when do they fade, what's the rhyming scheme or lack of rhyming scheme, what are the chord transitions like, are there any interesting movements between chords that catch your ear. Sometimes I'll put on a random playlist that I find or a random album that I've never heard before, and there'll be a song that instantly catches my ear and that grabs me. And when that happens, I like to spend some time trying to figure out what was it about that song that got me. What was it about that song that instantly made me want to listen again and again and again. But you need to be intentional about it. You need to start really trying to pick out those small details, and then from doing that you can start picking out things from other songs or other songwriters that you might want to use in your own songwriting, whether it's a song structure or a rhyming pattern or storytelling lyrics or fading at a certain point, building at a certain point, transitioning between chords. Which then leads me on to my tip number 2, which is it's completely okay to take inspiration from other songs. There's a myth going around that every new song has to be 100% original, which isn't true or even really possible. Every songwriter, no matter how original they seem, has been influenced by music they've heard before. It's okay to take elements from other songs that you love and turn them into your own. Whether it's a chord progression, a rhythm, a song structure, there's nothing wrong with starting from a place of influence. Arctic Monkeys, for example, have openly said they were heavily influenced by the Strokes. Oasis were heavily influenced by the Beatles. Radiohead have said they were influenced by REM. Everyone has had their influences, and if you find something that resonates with you, then you can use that as a starting point for creating something new of your own. It's not copying. You will add your own perspective, you will add your own voice, you will add your own style. So embrace your influences, study them, and use them to shape your sound. My third tip is that not all lyrics have to be deep and meaningful, so don't overthink it. Sometimes the pressure to write profound lyrics can actually start holding you back. It's important to remember that not every line has to carry heavy meaning or have a complex story. In fact, some of the most iconic songs have very simple or even nonsense lyrics, like the song Supersonic by Oasis. Noel Gallagher has openly admitted that the lyrics were basically nonsense. He was just trying to make them rhyme on the spot. People have tried giving them deeper meanings before, and he's said no, it's a load of rubbish. But that song was massive. Sometimes the vibe or the energy of the song can actually be more important than the meaning of the words. So if you're stuck on a lyric or you think a line sounds silly, don't stress about it, don't overthink it. Focus on what feels right at the moment. Don't be afraid to let the words flow, even if they don't make perfect sense. You can always go back and revise later if you need to, but sometimes the nonsense lyrics can work. My fourth tip is whenever you have an idea, no matter how small it is, make a note of it somehow. Write it down, record it, do something, because you don't want to lose it. You know, inspiration can hit at the most random times. You could be walking down the street, you could be singing in the shower, you could be just about to fall asleep, but make sure you capture those ideas somehow, somewhere, because if you don't, it might be gone. That's how our brains work. Sometimes I walk into a room and I forget why I'm in there. So you don't want to lose these ideas. And there's been a lot of artists who swear by this. Paul McCartney has talked about how the melody for the Beatles song Yesterday came to him in a dream, and he immediately rushed to the piano to play it before he forgot it. Even if it's just a line of words, a little bit of a melody, or a chord progression, make sure you make a note of it or record it somehow, whether that's in a little notebook, on a random piece of paper, or a voice memo on your phone. Just do something so you don't lose it. You never know when a small idea could turn into a big song. So always have something handy to make those little notes or recordings to use in the future. Then when you sit down to spend some time doing some songwriting, you can go back to these ideas and try and turn them into a song. It makes the songwriting process a bit easier if you already have that initial little idea. Now my fifth and final tip is songwriting is a skill that can be improved with practice. There's another myth that people can either write songs or they can't. as if people are born songwriters, which isn't true. But actually, like anything, the more you do it, the better you'll get, and you do need to practice. Songwriting isn't just about waiting for inspiration to hit you. It's about actively spending time consistently practicing your skills in order to improve. Take someone like Bob Dylan, who's written hundreds of songs. He wasn't born a master songwriter. He didn't wake up one day a master songwriter. It was years of practice that helped him refine his craft of songwriting. Even artists like Ed Sheeran have talked about how writing consistently, even when they didn't feel inspired, helped them grow as songwriters. Now, Ed Sheeran might not be a cup of tea, but it's relevant. There's no denying that he has been a very successful songwriter. So if your first few songs don't turn out the way you hoped, that's okay. You're going to write some really bad songs. Really bad. But keep writing, keep experimenting, and over time, your songwriting will improve. And you'll start writing more good songs than bad songs, and you'll start writing some little gems and some massive hits. Just keep practicing, keep practicing. Just like learning an instrument. People don't wake up being able to play the guitar. It takes practice and practice and practice. And that's exactly the same with songwriting. You know, it's a journey, and with persistence, you will get better. And that's it, my top 5 tips for songwriters. Remember, whether you're just starting out or looking to improve, the key is to stay creative. Keep practicing and don't be afraid to experiment. Let me know in the comments if you found these tips helpful, or if you think there's any tips that I've missed, or any other advice for songwriters. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, maybe even subscribe, and you'll see more. I'll be talking about music, you can hear some songs I've written, I'll be giving more advice. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.